Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Keith from Black Quarterback Series, and today we got a little bit of a different video. This video is supposed to come out before the schedule release, but I kind of got crossed up in my days. So this video is probably going to come out after the schedule release. So if you haven't watched the schedule release, the links will be in the description. I know the first video we're going to do is the primetime games, which is probably be the one that's going to be out by the time this video comes out, but we'll see. So, Super Bowl review retrospect, Super Bowl 22, Doug Williams versus John Elway. So, Doug Williams, 18 for 29, 340 yards, 4 touchdowns. John Elway, 14 for 38, 257 yards, 3 interceptions. Touchdown and 3 interceptions. So and it's going to sound weird when I say this, from the presentation to the way the game was played to the way the quarterbacks dropped back, it almost looked like a different sport. But from the formatting and the way the offenses ran and the bones of what NFL football was there. Doug Williams and John Elway still played this game like it was a rather modern game. The concepts that we run today are still there. So it's like I don't want to sit here and act like this is a completely different like stratosphere. It's not like comparing the NBA when I grew up to now. It's not that drastic, but you could tell it just looks different, right? John Elway was I wouldn't say on fire, but he was dialing it up. He looked like Patrick Mahomes, honestly. Like, I watched Elway. This is my first time watching Elway play, obviously. I'm only 30 years old. First time watching Elway play, and I'm like, oh man, that looks like Patrick Mahomes, right? He was able to run around, make guys miss. It's not like he was doing anything spectacular, but he was just making guys miss. And his defense completely sold him. He ended up having to force it in the second half and ended up throwing 3 interceptions. I think all 3 of those. One of those interceptions was the first half, and then the third interception, the other 2 was in the second half for sure. So I watched this game on Mother's Day with my mom. Shout out to my mama. I had a good time sitting there watching this game, talking about what the world was like back then, and listening to my stepdad tell stories about when he was watching this game and blah, 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 right? So we're here to talk about Doug Williams because Doug Williams is the first black quarterback to ever win a Super Bowl. And it didn't look like that at first. They got down 10 points, and then Doug Williams got hurt. And I'm sure at the time you was thinking, oh man, it's over. And listening to Doug Williams talk about this leading up into the game, if I could find that, my Dragon Ball Z fans would know, it's like that episode of Dragon Ball Z when they was holding up all the energy and giving it to Doug Williams. That's essentially what happened in that second quarter. He got hurt and then came in the game I'm talking about was diming it up for I think it was 1987. Light show for 1987. I'm talking about streak down the field, boom, 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 just putting it anywhere he needs to put it. Honestly, if they had kept their foot on the gas, he probably could have had 6 touchdowns and 500 yards. That's how dominant they was from that second quarter on down. Like, it was a phenomenal performance. Even my stepdad was like, "Here you go, you need to watch this." Boom, 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 boom. Like, it was a great game to watch. I'm happy that it looked more modern because if it didn't look as modern, I'd have been like, ugh, this is a drag, you know what I mean? But no, it was a fun game. It was a really, really fun game. I think the final score was 40-something to 10. I'm going to put it up on the screen. It was like 40-something to 10. Absolute rout. They couldn't do nothing with John Elway and the boys couldn't do nothing with Doug Williams. Just carved that offense up. It was crazy. They didn't run the ball as much as I thought they would. But I guess we're transitioning into the fling the ball around era at that point. But in a game from 1987, you would have thought that they ran the ball a lot more, but obviously they didn't. So, which is probably why they were in the Super Bowl. They were doing a lot of stuff different. I talked about the quarterback mechanics was awful, right? It looks so weird. Like I'm gonna show highlights of them dropping back. They like doing this, dropping back, and it's so weird to watch with the refinalization. That's not a word, but the way the quarterback position has been redefined and how we don't drop back like that anymore looks weird. But I firmly believe that Doug Williams and John Elway could play in this league today, given all the tech and everything we had, especially Doug Williams. Well, no, both two, because John Elway was a baseball player too. He could run around a little bit. That was his whole thing. So, and one of the final things that I really want to talk about in this game is the scoreboard. The scoreboard thing. They didn't have the scoreboard on the TV for most of the game. You kind of just got to guess the down and distance. Like in the NFL now, you got the score, then you got the time and distance. At the score, you got the time and distance. You got all this up here, and then you got advertising at the bottom. It was just straight ball. It was like straight ball. There was nothing on the screen. You're just watching football. And me and my mama's, she's about to be, I think she's going to be 50 or 49. So she was around for this time, but she didn't watch football as much. Stepdad, obviously male, much more of a football head. He remembers this. Um, we was having a hard time figuring out what the score was, what the quarter was, what the down was. Like, it wasn't on the screen. Like that is now. Granted, they didn't know no better at the time, so they didn't know nothing else because it also wasn't. There also wasn't a yellow. Also wasn't a yellow line yet. So, but overall, it was a good game. I thoroughly enjoyed it watching it. Watching it from a 30 year old's perspective. So let me know what other guys. So let me know what other games y'all want me to revisit. This series is probably gonna be called Super Bowl Black Quarterback Super Bowl Retrospect. We got some games I was around for that I'm gonna rewatch as well. So I'm not sure what the next game is because we're gonna watch the wins and the losses from all the black quarterbacks who made it to Super Bowls, and the link will be at the end for the NFL schedule release if you want something more up to date. And I'll talk to you guys later on. Peace.